Good morning, Rockets. This is Ms. Clarkson, the MYP coordinator here at RM, and I'm coming to you today to talk to you a little bit about the MYP personal project process for 10th graders. This year, we'll be engaging in this process both through Rocket Time and through your meetings with your supervisor, which you'll learn about in just a bit. First, however, did you know that you're part of a worldwide community of students? 10th graders all over the planet are undertaking one of these independent projects of inquiry together right now. And you, like them, have an opportunity to learn, make, do, or achieve something that you are personally interested in and get school credit for it. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about what to do at the beginning of this process, and most importantly, how to pick something you're actually interested in to do for your personal project. The personal project is just a long-term independent project that's undertaken in 10th grade. You begin by planning and researching and developing that project and discuss it with a supervisor in monthly meetings that are held during lunch. You demonstrate that learning in the form of some kind of final product or outcome, and then reflect on it in a written, oral, or video report. Finally, you may remember this if you were here as a ninth grader last year, you celebrate your project and your achievements at the exhibition in spring. Today, we're going to talk about the very first steps in this process. We're going to get started first by thinking about what it is that you personally are interested in. The nice thing about the personal project is that you really can do anything, almost anything, as long as it's not dangerous or illegal. But whatever you choose to do, you need to learn something, create something, make something, gain a skill, and you need to pick something that's realistic. So for some students, a realistic project might look very different from others. But this is the most important piece. If you do what you like, you're more likely to like what you do. That's important when it comes to sustaining interest in a long-term project like this. Pick something you like. And guess what? If you don't like it, you're going to find it very difficult. If you do like what you do, you're more likely to be motivated to keep working on it even when things get hard. Your supervisor is there to help you determine what your interests are and help you guide your project through to completion. But it's your responsibility to choose an area of interest that you think you can stay engaged in throughout the year. Once you have a general topic of interest, you need to think about these 4 categories. All projects need to be accessible. That is, you need to be able to measure your own success. It needs to be believable. It needs to be something that you can achieve realistically in the next 5 months. So even though it may be your ultimate goal to get into a good college, that's not something you can achieve as a sophomore. So it's no longer believable. It needs to be challenging. It needs to be something that's worth your time and effort that you can't already do. You can build on something that you've already been able to do for some time, and that's a good strategy. But you should challenge yourself to try something new. And lastly, and most importantly, it needs to be desirable, something that you actually want to do. Because this project is about personal interest, nobody can tell you exactly what you're going to want to do for the project. So I'm coming to you today to get you thinking about what it is that interest might be. You start from an initial topic and then narrow it down to a more specific goal. Now we're going to look at a few quick examples. Remember, these examples are just offered as topics that students have been interested in the past. You're not limited by what other people have done before. Some projects are focused around achieving a particular outcome or goal, and others are focused around building a product or some kind of thing that you produce at the end. So, for example, a student who's interested in the topic of eco-friendly design and wants to learn more about that might have set a goal for themselves of developing a durable wallet that's made only out of recycled materials. Here's an example. This is a folded wallet that's created out of Tyvek packaging. If a student designed, built, planned this, and demonstrated that learning, that could have been a personal project. However, if all they did was follow the instructions on the Instructable, then that's not really a project because it doesn't require any research or critical thinking. Other projects don't produce a physical thing. For example, a student who's interested in improving their personal wellness and health might have identified stress as being a major problem for them in their lives. And in order to reduce stress, they might set a goal of improving their mental focus by practicing daily meditation. They might have done that over a span of time, done research into different techniques that would help relieve stress, and they might reflect on that in some kind of video reflection. Their evidence of having met their goal then might be, for example, a meditation journal in which the student would talk about their mental state, how they were feeling, and what changes they noticed in themselves over time. Many students have trouble getting started on this project, primarily because it's so big that they don't quite know where to start. So here are some tips about where to start. If you don't have any idea of what you might want to do, start with something that you're already interested in. It could be a sport, it could be a skill, it could be something you learned in one of your classes that you wanted to learn more about but just didn't have the time. Focus on why you're interested in that topic. If you're further stuck, think about talking to an 11th grader about what they did for their project, or consult one of these digital resources. You can click on the link and it will take you to a website which has a bunch of different kind of idea starters related to the personal project, or click on the Twitter thread at the right. And that will show you a big long list of all of the projects that students undertook in 2018. It's alphabetical and it lists out all of their topics. So those are students at Richard Montgomery and what they did for their personal projects. This presentation, along with all of the resources for the personal project, will be available in a MyMCPS classroom, which you'll get access to next week. In the meantime, the presentation will be posted on the website. All you need to do is Google RMHS MYP project, and the presentation will be right at the top of the page. Next week, we'll start working on project proposals. So your job in the meantime is to start thinking about topics that you're interested in. That's it for today, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week in Rocket Time.